Hi, I want to speak to you about tenant landlord matters, but if you're not a tenant, please still listen. And even if you don't rent, if you're a homeowner, or if you don't have any of the above, please listen, because the trickle down effect of what I'm getting ready to tell you about could affect you at some point, and likely will affect you at some point. We find it very alarming. I say we because I do human rights work. We focus on all kind of human rights, more so tenant landlord matters. And it's very alarming when we come across a property that has an abundance of people who receive failure to pay rent notices. Now, the building that I'm discussing today is the Village of Blenheim Run, and that's in Harve De Grace, Maryland. And I'm talking about this is because this building has 51 units, excuse me, apartment homes, and 20 of those have received failure to pay rent notices, with possibly 6 to 12 having no right of redemptions. And if a lot of you are not aware, when you get these court notices, first of all, it's always imperative to make sure that you go to court. Please make sure that you go to court. Let the judge hear your case while you're behind. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let the property management stop you saying, oh, I got you, I'm gonna look out for you, whatever the case may be. Please do not do that, because you have to make sure that your voice is heard, and also the court will know that you're taking it serious. So if anything goes to the left, when you do go to court, you don't have to worry about saying, well, you didn't even bother showing up, so why should I hear your motion? Why should I hear you now? Excuse me, and a lot of you may not realize this when you get those court notices, mainly if you've been to court several times. Now, if you haven't gotten any judgments, then you're in a good place. But if you've been getting judgments against you, you have to understand that depending on the city or the county that you live in, not just in Maryland, but even all over every state, there's a thing where if you get over so many, the next one, like in this county, I believe it is, if you get 3, and the fourth one that you get, excuse me, the management, the owner, the landlord can ask for no right of redemption, which means even if this person pays, I don't want them to be able to redeem the property. I want them out. So when you get them court notices, always good to look down at the bottom, and if you see a succession of dates and months put in there, like June 2024, August 2024, and or even February 24, if you see all these different dates, then you know that this ownership, the landlord management, is asked for no right of redemption, asking the judge to not let you recover that property. So if you do not see that and you pay that rent and they take it, they can still evict you. So this is very alarming, because most people do not look at the bottom. They just look at the top, see what the court notice is, look at the side to see how much they say they owe, and then try to scramble to get whatever it is they owe. Now, I'm not going to be naive to believe that you don't have some people that are hoppers. And what that is that people that hop from place to place to place, not paying no more than whatever they paid to get in, excuse me, to the property, and they stay there as long as they can until they're forced and evicted out. But when you look at the court notices, when you look at the amounts that they're said is owed, and mainly if it's 1 month, then the chance of that being makes it more and more or less not likely than it is likely. Then we know that there are some people who may have lost hours at work or lost work, may have gotten ill, may have had someone who had become deceased, different things that may have happened that could cause that. But in this case, though that can also be some of the scenarios, as well as some people just saying, I want to party, I want to do what I want to do. Of course, you might have 1 or 2 of those, if any, but we're not going to, again, be naive to not think that. But however, with this situation at the Village of Blenheim Run, there was an incident or several incidents that took place that caused a great number of people to get behind. This building opened up around June or July of 2022. It's a new build. So for the fact that it's 51 units and 20 units have these notices is very alarming. Again, when you look at how these things could have came about, it's very concerning. November, well, let me say, by September, to my understanding, there was only 3 people in this particular building renting. Then they had a push to try to fill the building, so they did all of these promotions. Now, the promotions that we're aware of started in November and December. For November, there was a promotion, excuse me, for some no security deposit. Then you had a good number of people that had November rent is waived, December half off, which is tremendous for the average person, because it's like, wow, I can get in here, I can save a lot of money, I can come in, I can have a little cushion, you know, I'm good. And then they ended up getting a few within, I think it was like 2 to 5 days, whoever, depending on who it was, they would get another thing that said, hey, but if you move in within 14 days, if you move in real quick, we'll give $1,000 gift card. So now people are like, okay, wow, I'll get November, December, I get November waive, December half off, and then I'll get $1,000 gift card. So they pushed and they got in here. And then you had some that they offered both to and didn't get anything. But what had happened was, after they moved in, they paid what they supposed to pay to move in, they signed the lease to move in. A month or two later, they get this thing saying, hey, oh, you weren't supposed to get both of those moving specials. You weren't supposed to get them, so you got to give us money back. So people are paying $1,500, $2,500, a lot in the $2,500 range back. So now they get behind. And when in this building is a tax credit building, and when you're dealing with a tax credit building, it goes by your income. It go by whatever your AMI. You can go by 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60. So this building is considered moderate to extremely low income residents. And you might have even some that may have vouchers, housing assistance in some form of fashion. And then you have a great number of people that's working, but again, based on their AMI, they only have to pay a certain amount. But nevertheless, this caused a lot of people to have to pay this back, because a lot of people that got hit are working folk that they have to pay the majority because they don't have an offset. But nevertheless, this building and this property, again, is in Harve De Grace, Maryland, and it's owned by TM Associates, which is part owners and management, and the other co-owners is Green Street Housing. Now, though this building, I don't believe shouldn't have been open when it was open. It was a lot of problems, still a lot of problems. They had a problem with the sewage line putting wrong. They had to redo it. It's still poop coming out of a lot of the primary bedrooms, faucets. Have a lot of leaks in the building, some infrastructure, some other things, stability issues, power sources, dealing with this. Let me turn, sorry, I have to turn this back on. Power sources, the buildings, power keep going on and off, and it's not raining, no bad wind, and nothing creating it. It just keep happening. But nevertheless, that's a whole different story. So back to this thing with this rent thing. We're definitely highly concerned that, again, a number of these people are doing that, and that's why we make it clear, when you go to court, you have to go to court and you explain these kind of things to the judge, and let the judge make the decision whether they feel that you owe that rent, dealing with something that they caused. Because I'm pretty sure, as far as what we have discovered thus far, that it's against the law to give somebody, this is what you need to pay to move in. They pay it, they sign a lease, and then 2 months later, a month or two later, you come back and say, oh, you got to give us this extra money because you weren't supposed to get this. So these kind of things need to be exposed. I think when properties have an abundance of people with these notices, I think that some investigation should be done, because when you have people in this income bracket, a lot of times they won't speak up. They'll just try to get ahead. They'll try to do what they got to do, but they don't want to ruffle any feathers, because some of these people probably came from being homeless, being displaced, sleeping on friends' sofas, and different things, or was in bad situations, domestic violence or whatever it is, and they don't want to ruffle the feathers because of what they've been through. They don't want to have to be back out there dealing with that again. So definitely know for a fact that the city of Harve De Grace knows. We definitely know, both managements knows and ownership know. We definitely know that the housing authority know, and a couple of agencies know, because there have been reported. And I personally know this, and I personally know what's going on, because I am also a resident here that they try to do a bait and switch with. Luckily, I knew a little bit of some things, but an hour before I got here to sign my lease, I'm sitting here with a U-Haul truck with my stuff, some of my stuff in the back, and I get an email saying, "Oh, the thing has been changed, so you're not going to get the same promotion." So nevertheless, they did a bait and switch, and a lot of people behind, and I think these things need to be exposed, and that's what we're going to continue to do.